It's a beautiful morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. I was not able to come online last week because I had some important engagement at the time that I was supposed to be making the video. So I really apologize for not coming up last week. And I think that by now I want to be making my video probably every week or once in 2 weeks, because I see that there is really no reason why we should be rushing again, since I've given you most of what you need for your application process. So when it is time for you to be doing your visa application and processes, if there is a need for us to rush again, yeah, I could rush. And of course, I don't forget that I had to talk about PhD education as well. The reason why I've not really talked about it is because the application period for PhD is usually starting in April, between April and May. So I promise that probably sometime in March, I'm going to be doing a video about the PhD. Now let's get into business. I said that I was going to talk about ESTONIA Aliens Act Amendment. How is going to affect the new students that are coming. I promised that I was going to bring the Aliens Act, but I realized that it is not going to be necessary. Now let me give you the reason why it is not going to be necessary. First of all, the Aliens Act is a very broad act in Estonia that addresses every issue concerning foreigners in Estonia. In Estonia, they call foreigners aliens. So as long as you are not an Estonian and you are not an European Union member, to them an alien. Yeah, so that is it. So, but I realized that the only place that temporary resident permits for study was mentioned is on subsection or subdivision 3 of the Aliens Act. It is basically talking about, the basic things you need to do when you want to apply for a resident permit for study, providing the document, the basic requirements, what is expected of you as an incoming student to give to the embassy and everything. That is basically what is here. You see, the amendment to the Aliens Act, most of what we heard about it were basically on the media. So I want you to understand that majority of those things that we saw on the media have not been updated in the Aliens Act yet, and in the real sense they are not yet effective because it has not yet been passed into law by the Rigi Code. So now what I'm just going to say is that I'm just going to be giving some basic advice, because of course the reason why the issue of the amendment to the Aliens Act became a menace was because some people claim that they used the basis of that draft of the amendment to the Aliens Act to decide that they were not going to extend their resident permit. Some of them complained that they did not renew their resident permit because they collected need-based, and so many stories that we were hearing. But most of these are just hearsay. What we heard from the media, what we read from the newspaper and in other platforms as well. But on the current Estonian Aliens Act, some of those amendments that were drafted by the far right at that time had not yet been signed into law, or let me say it has not yet been updated. Now here is my advice as a student. If you are given a resident permit to come and study, please and please finish your studies. Then another advice I'm going to give is this: if you are given a resident permit to come and study, make your study a priority. It is okay to find a job. Let me tell you, like I told you, that in most cases I'm going to be using myself as an example. While I was a student, I worked also. But on 2 occasions, I had an opportunity to do 2 full-time jobs altogether. One in the morning, one in the evening. I was giving, in fact, I was doing this thing they call go work a bit. It's like a kind of like freelance job. You are not really employed by a company, but there is this platform whereby any day you want to work and you see adverts for job, you just apply for it. If they accept your application, then you are going to work for that time. I used to do this go work a bit, like I don't know how it happened, but go work a bit used to give me a job. Every time I applied, they give me a job. But what I did was I knew, because I was studying, I don't want a full-time job. So I was doing my go work a bit anytime I needed to work and make some money. So, but I took my education as a priority. Even at that, my thesis wanted to do somehow, but I was able to, you know, pass through it, and I was able to graduate in my own time. But my own advice is just that when you are given a resident permit to come and study, finish your studies. Then you have all the time to do other things. I got a full-time job, right? Just 3 months to my graduation date. So you can get a full-time job anytime you want to get a full-time job. I don't know the situation now because of this pandemic issue, but I mean, of course, what you want to do, you are going to do. What you want to achieve, you can achieve at any point in your life. But your primary reason for being here, don't take it lightly. Don't take it lightly. That is just what I'm going to say about that. Aliens Act Amendment or not, your primary reason for being here, make sure you fulfill it. If you believe that you still want to stay longer in this country. So that is basically the advice I wanted to give you today. So about the Aliens Act and everything, you don't need anything more than that. Anything that you said you are coming to do here and they give you the resident permit on, make sure you complete it. Don't play with it. If you don't have to work until you fulfill your obligation, maybe you need to try to quit your job if it is going to affect. Don't start chasing something else when this is another thing you said you are coming here to do. That is just it. So I don't have much to say again. It's just an advice about the law of this country that I decided to give you today. So I don't know. If you like the content that you are watching, do well to subscribe, and then you can click the notification button if you want to hear more from me, if you want to be notified that I posted a new video. And also click like and also comment on the comment section to tell me what you think that I need to talk about. Because next week, or maybe any other time that I come back online, I have a new topic. I have some varieties of topics, but I will make a decision when the time comes, the particular one I was going to do. So it is also relevant for admission, and it is also relevant for your stay in Estonia and what to expect and how to deal with issues. Because I was actually thinking about doing something on how to deal with racism in Estonia. So, but let's see how it goes and what we are going to do next week. So thank you for joining me. See you next week. Bye.